In a quiet old town filled with misty mornings and cobblestone streets, there lived a young boy named Arin. He was small, shy, and always carried an old violin, scratched, faded, and held together by strings that looked like they could snap at any moment. His father had once been a great musician, known for filling the city square with melodies that made even strangers smile. But after his father's sudden passing, the music in their home vanished. Arin's mother worked long, hard hours washing clothes, while Arin would sit by the window at night, running his fingers softly over the broken violin, wondering if it would ever sing again. The world around him had become silent, and so had his heart. One morning, while passing through the marketplace, Arin saw a poster that made his heart race. It was for the annual music festival, and the grand prize was 10,000 gold coins. For Arin, this wasn't about fame or fortune. It was about something much deeper, a chance to bring his father's dream back to life. But when he showed the poster to his mother, she smiled sadly and said, "Arin, my dear, that violin can't even hold its tune anymore." He looked down, clutching it tightly. "Maybe," he whispered, "but I can." Days turned into nights as Arin practiced relentlessly behind their small home. Every wrong note hurt his ears, and every broken string chipped away at his hope. Yet, he kept going. Sometimes, children from the neighborhood would mock him. "You'll never win. That violin sounds like a dying bird," they'd laugh. Arin would only smile, wipe his tears when they left, and whisper to himself, "Even broken wings can still fly." The sounds that came from his violin weren't perfect, far from it, but they were honest. They were filled with a raw pain and purity that could touch even the coldest of hearts. As the festival drew closer, disaster struck. The violin cracked again, the bridge splintered, and one of the strings snapped completely. He sat there in the dim light of his candle, staring at it for hours. Maybe they were right, he thought. Maybe broken things don't deserve second chances. But then, he remembered something his father had once told him. A perfect instrument can play a tune, but only a broken one can tell a story. That night, he made a decision. He wouldn't hide his broken violin. He would play it exactly as it was. The day of the festival arrived. The grand hall shimmered with lights, filled with elegant musicians in fine suits, holding violins polished like mirrors. Arin walked in quietly, his clothes worn and faded, his violin dull and scarred. Some people in the audience laughed, others looked at him with pity. But when his turn came, he stepped onto the stage, closed his eyes, and began to play. At first, the sound was rough, uneven, trembling, and fragile. A few people frowned. But then, something magical happened. Each note began to carry a story of struggle, of love, of loss. It was as if every tear he had ever shed, every lonely night he had ever spent, was singing through those strings. The hall fell completely silent. Even the judges forgot to take notes. Mothers clutched their hearts, and old men closed their eyes to stop their tears from falling. When he played the final, lingering note, a hush filled the room. Then, thunderous applause erupted. People rose to their feet, clapping, crying, and smiling all at once. When the results were announced, Arin had won, not just the gold coins, but every single heart in that hall. The mayor himself walked onto the stage and said, "Young man, this violin of yours may be broken, but today it played the most beautiful song I have ever heard." Arin smiled softly and replied, "It's not the violin that was broken, sir. It was me. The music fixed both of us." That night he returned home and placed the violin gently beside his father's photograph. His mother held him close, tears of pride shining in her eyes. From that day on, Arin became known across the land, not as the boy with the broken violin, but as the boy who turned his pain into music. Years later, when Arin grew into a master musician, he still kept that same old broken violin. When people asked him why he didn't replace it with a finer instrument, he would smile and say, "Because it reminds me that even when life cracks you open, the music inside you is what truly matters." He would tell his students, "Don't ever be ashamed of your scars. They are proof that you survived, that you kept playing even when the world went silent." And so, the broken violin became a powerful symbol, not of failure, but of resilience. In every concert he played, the sound of that imperfect instrument reminded people that true beauty doesn't come from perfection. It comes from persistence. If you're listening to this story today, maybe life has cracked you too. Maybe your dream feels too damaged to try again. But remember Arin, the boy who didn't wait to be whole before creating something beautiful. The world doesn't need your perfection, it needs your heart. So pick up your broken violin, whatever it may be, and play your song. Because somewhere out there, someone needs to hear it. Your pain doesn't make you weak, it makes your story worth hearing. Keep playing. Thank you so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more content that inspires. We'll see you in the next one.